Road to Donbas, the fortress of eastern Ukraine. Covered with nets to stop the small, deadly Russian drones, the new feature of this ongoing war. We are embedded with a group of medics who are on their way to a dangerous mission, to evacuate the number of Ukrainian casualties.
I wanted to do the best I can to do my mission in this war. And when they are dying, I just I have a moment when I think, for what? They have wives, they have girlfriends, they have parents, and they had their life, their purpose in life.
Benteshna's mission for today is done. Now, the lives of wounded soldiers are in the hands of medics in this field hospital. Somewhere safer. The Russian invasion of Ukraine is entering its 5th year, with no clear signs of an end on the horizon. Ukrainians are struggling with manpower to fill their trenches. Here at this training ground, a group of new recruits are learning how to face their enemy. They learn how to use their weapons, move about, aim and shoot. How to take cover in the trench and, of course, how to protect themselves from these deadly birds. Pashat is a battle-hardened trainer. He's been fighting Russia for the past 10 years, long before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine.
Як вам сказати? Я на війні з 15-го року. Я вже навіть не можу уявити, що я буду робити, коли її не буде.
He believes drones have changed the way both sides fight.
Коли не було дронів, тоді, можна сказати, більш-менш чесна війна була. А зараз б'ють на кришу і все. Кліпають то небо засіяно. Саме, щоб не було шахедів, була повинна зовсім друга, вже давно ми їх вибили. А так.
We've seen this in action. More than a year ago, we were embedded with the drone unit of the 3rd Assault Brigade. They were positioned somewhere in Donbas, not far from the Russian trenches. We had to rush into the trenches to not be spotted by the Russian drones. Weeks earlier, Russian troops were based here before it was taken by the Ukrainians. Some of their leftovers can still be seen in the bushes.
Так вы там на поле были, мне ничего не слышно.
Sasha is constantly watching for enemy movement on the other side of their front line, or in no man's land. Below, the land is marked with scars from artillery shells fired by both sides, a reminder of how brutal this war has become. In the background, artillery fire can be heard every few minutes. Sometimes loud enough that you have to check around you to feel comfortable, to feel safe.
Все, есть контакт. Изменить привязанное устройство, отмена, да?
Ну, все, буду на наш НРВ летать. Що з камерою, блядь, постоїть? О, все, заебись. Підключила дрон?
Сейчас.
Another drone, another mission. These commercial drones have transformed the concept of the battlefield. Both sides of the conflict rely heavily on them for surveillance and for assault.
там двое типов лазят возле него. Да. А может, ну, я не знаю, я просто, ну, как бы, я не говорю, что именно 120-ка, но просто тут реально какая-то пушка стоит. Сейчас.
Я не буду взлітати.
He's just demonstrating a drone that can drop an explosive.
Ну, коротше, включаєш на дроні світло, підсвітку нижню.
Simple and deadly.
Да.
Misha and the other members of this unit are flying these drones day and night.
Развестись, взять, типа, блядь, детей, типа, на себя. И пиздец. И...
Выключи.
Не, и, типа, написать рапорт, типа, разводишься с женой, типа, с единственным кормильцем у детей, у ребенка. Пишешь рапорт, это, типа, от детей, все, и ты по бумажкам.
Ну, это ближе. Это пидоров ложат.
Пидоры.
Пидоры ложат.
Да. Туда. Ихние.
Выходы откуда? Оттуда были?
Да. Это были приходы.
Нет, приходы там были.
Ну, вот туда были, да.
Но выходы отсюда были. С нашей стороны.
Да, но я просто выходы, что не слышал вообще, только приходы туда услышал.
Не, я выходы слышал. Оно в окопе, когда сидишь, никуда не понятно. Вот. Если это первая пристрелочная, пацаны, надо хотя бы в окоп залезть.
As the Russian shelling intensifies, we must evacuate to the command center a couple miles behind these trenches. Here, drone operation makes more sense. What the drone unit captures can be seen live here.
Дуб, я Берлін, прийом.
The coordination of the enemy positions is then passed to the artillery unit for precise strikes.
Так він, дивись, він дебіл, він зараз їде по той же точці, куди по ньому тільки що попали з енлави. Два танка, один танк пошкодили, ну вони його не можуть, а другий утік. І днів 5 назад, є навіть відео у нас на каналі, подбили теж танк, він згорів. Ну, считай, а от дивись, він стрім. Другого не було.
This creates a triangle between the drone unit, the command center, and the artillery unit.
Ні, це так ударить по своїм. Мінус дрону це 200%. Ну, дрони це максимально ефективна історія в нашій війні, тому що ну, без них, ти ж розумієш, що вся розвідка, корректировка, обнаруження і все відбувається чисто суто через дрони. Уже навіть доросли до того, що чисто дронами можна ж одразу вбивати так само підерів, ну, ті самі дрони каміказе. Тобто, ну, зараз чисто війна дронів і це чисто розходний матеріал, який постійно вбиває і нам треба відновлюватися. Тобто дрони це все так само працює, у підерів є виходи на той самий Китай, так само вони запаковані дронами, так само коректують дронами все. У них навіть в некоторій мірі більш розвито в плані розвідки, орлани, ланцети, зали, вся ця історія, ну, у них, мені кажеться, навіть більш розвита, ніж у нас.
A few miles behind the command center is where the artillery unit is operating. They're constantly on the move.
You can see blue sky and yellow sunflowers. It's the colors of our flag. Main goal of our division is destroy of enemy artillery, because we have M777. It's a precision cannon, and it helps us to kill the Russians who came to our land.
For fear of Russian FPV drones, they must change their locations after a few rounds of shelling. It's a cat and mouse game for both sides. Without drones, this would have been conventional warfare, but not anymore. Drones have changed the concept of war for good. These days, this kind of drone attack footage is circulating on the internet, showing how both Russians and Ukrainians use drones to their maximum capacity. It is sometimes frightening enough to be used as a propaganda tool to demoralize enemy soldiers. At the same time, this footage shows the dirty side of war from an angle we have hardly seen before. Ukrainians came up with the idea of covering roads with nets to stop small FPV drones, but this has not prevented Ukraine from losing more territory to the enemy.
Do you disagree that you've had problems?
In recent months, pressure from Washington on Kyiv has increased.
To come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem.
The new US administration is keen on striking a deal with Vladimir Putin, and they have proposed an agreement that would require Ukraine to give up nearly 20% of its territory to Russia. A deal that is very hard for Ukraine to swallow. Ukrainians have endured several difficult winters. Many towns and villages in the east have been partly destroyed, flattened, and evacuated of civilians. On the other hand, ahead of each round of diplomacy, Russia has intensified its drone and missile attacks on Ukrainian cities. Here's the impact of a missile strike on a neighborhood in Kramatorsk, a Ukrainian stronghold in the Donetsk region. The missile hit a park in the middle of a neighborhood without any casualties.
Слава Богу, хоть пацаны живы все.
Still frightening enough to force some of the remaining civilians to leave. Near the impact site, people were waiting for humanitarian aid when the deafening noise of a Shahid drone approaches. Before we have time to take cover, it reaches the area where we are, and a few seconds later,
Нормально, нормально. Да вот опять.
Wait, wait.
A few minutes later, after the first drone attack, a second one follows, in what is known as a double tap.
Ёбаный! Пацаны, давайте текайте. Мужики, ну не снимайте, пожалуйста. Куда же?
While people are still in shock, the third kamikaze drone strikes the same location.
Нет!
Same civilian area within 7 minutes, with no military presence whatsoever.
Звони, блядь, кто там, блядь? Вызывать надо. Газ перекрыть надо. Нет, блядь, звони в газ.
The next day we learned that one person was killed, an elderly man. The burial takes place in the civilian cemetery of Kramatorsk. Only 4 family members are present, along with a priest, a nun, and a gravedigger. This war has made human life so cheap that many no longer bother to count. But why is Russia so keen to capture Kramatorsk? The city is one of 3 in the Donetsk region that together earned the nickname the Donbas Fortress Belt. A fortified strip of land that forms the backbone of Ukraine's defense in the east. The initial US-led proposal calls for Kiev to surrender this fortress belt to Russia. Ukraine's leaders say they cannot accept these, as too much blood has been shed to hold it. The cemetery of Kramatorsk stands as a silent witness to that sacrifice. If the Ukrainian leaders were to give up the occupied territories to Russia, if these territories could simply have been given up earlier, many would look to their leaders and ask, what for? What did so many Ukrainians die for?